World of Tankers. Hello there, World of Tankers. I'm Blitz, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a map positioning episode. So I've already done 2 of these, so if you want to see those, I'll link them in the description down below. But in today's video, I have no clue what map I'm going to be doing. Of course, it'll say it in the title, but the reason for that being is, as you can see, I'm currently live in my garage, and I'm just going to press the battle button, and whatever map I get, I'm going to tell you guys what's going through my mind, where I'm positioning my tank, how I'm countering the enemy. So that's how I'm sort of doing my map positioning videos. And I really like this sort of concept because it's not really fair to you guys if I were to just make a replay where I did 6,000 damage, 7,000 damage, and I said, oh, if you position your tank over here, you'll do as much damage as me, because we all know that's not true. First of all, if you position your tank there, you're not going to be up against the same tanks. There are going to be different skill levels. There's many variables that you really just can't do by making a video without any change in it. And I feel that doing live gameplay, I can really tell you guys, well, if the enemy team pushes over here like you can see them weirdly doing, it's not like the enemy team's just pushing exactly where I want them to do, showing you in the replay. I have no clue what the enemy team is going to do. So hopefully, the only thing I'm praying is that we don't get the same map, Faust, or I think it was Falls Creek, because then unfortunately I'm not going to be able to tell you guys that much on map positioning. But the IS-7, of course, I'm going to be telling you guys where to push this tank on the heavy side. But after the game's over, I'm going to pull up Strat Sketch, and I'm going to tell you guys all of the positions you could have ran a medium tank, a light tank, a tank destroyer. So make sure to stay tuned till the end. And of course, if you're not subscribed to my channel already, about 48% of my viewers aren't subscribed. So if you aren't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, hit that button down below. It really helps the channel out. Of course, if you don't like my content, you don't need to do anything. But if you do like it and you find yourself learning something new in this video, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. So immediately into this match, I noticed that they have 3 heavy tanks. They have the M103, the E75, and the IS-7. So they have some heavy tanks, which means they could be pushing their vehicles to the heavy side. And there we go. Now, I have no clue how my shell missed that. But if you pay attention, I can actually hide my tank here and pretty much hide my lower plate due to that little bit of the barn. Or not the barn, but the floor. I don't know why barn came into my mind. But as you can see here, I am perfectly hiding my hull. Now, unfortunately, my mediums did not push medium, which is actually, it could actually screw this game here. But I am sort of just going to sit my tank here and hopefully wait this out. Now, I got hit by an HE at the back, and the only tank that would do a decent amount of damage and sit at the back, hopefully, is a Jagdtiger. So we're going to have to see. But I got no clue what my team's doing right now. I'm just going to continue to hold. There's the Jagdtiger. So we're going to see if we can tap him right now. Aim in at his lower plate. There we go. Nice fire on him, too. Don't know why he's not carrying a fire extinguisher. Oh, he is. He just didn't put it on. So there you go. Nice little tap into that guy already. I'm still just going to hold here. I'm never going to over-aggress my tank. That's something that you never want to do. As you can see there, the Jagdtiger's still getting shots on us. And unfortunately, we can't spot him. So I'm actually going to push... Actually, I'm not. That was an over-aggression, as you can see. So I've lost hit points there that I didn't need to. That was actually my fault. So I'm just going to stay back here. I'm going to stay calm. There's no need for me to push past. Now, of course, I'm pretty much holding these guys off on my own here. I've got that IS-8, but as you can see, they don't want to hold anymore. I'm probably going to get rushed and die. So I'm just going to back up. Should be going to keep trying to hold here. This is actually a pretty ideal situation, though, for a tank like the IS-7, because I'm just going to sit and wait patiently. I know they've got that Yag back there, and as we saw, he was able to hit us in the side, unfortunately, which means that he still would be able to at the next shell, so we're just going to stay a little bit calm here. That was a nice tap into the side of the IS-7, but thankfully our team has managed to pick up quite a bit. Now, hopefully that IS-7 isn't going to target me, but ooh, Posh got a nice ammo rack into that IS-7. So, E75, here we go. Got a nice bounce again, just making sure to hide my lower plate. That's something you always want to do in a Russian pike nose design. I'm going to now side scrape again, hiding that lower plate of mine. Oh, you're dead already, and we're not going to be able to tap you. But we blocked some decent damage. I hopefully showed you guys just where I positioned the tank on this map. Now, of course, if I was running a medium, I would probably push it to the other side. There you go, nice little tap. So if I was running a medium tank, of course I would probably push it to the medium side, and it would be a very different scenario. So I'll bring that up in Strat Sketch to show you guys what would have happened on that map. But you saw I made a mistake. I lost hit points there by pulling out, overextending my vehicle, but I was still able to do 3,109 damage. I still stayed passive, and that's one of the most important things, especially for a map like Yamato, is you want to stay passive. Even if you're on the medium side, if you ever notice there's over-aggressive people that try and use a tank like the STB thinking that it has good gun depression, and they'll drive over that little ridge on the medium side, and then wham, an 800 damage shell from a 183, or a grill shoots you from the back camping as a tank destroyer, which is the correct thing to do, but you definitely never want to overextend yourself. You saw there, overextended myself, and the Ag Tiger was able to pen us in the side, and same for the IS-7, so never overextend yourself. As you can see, I have created the exact lineup here on Strat Sketch for Yamato Harbor, and I'm going to be showing you what the enemy team could have done to possibly win this match, what my team could have done a little bit better. While our team still won, it wasn't the best victory. There were a lot of mistakes. I made a mistake myself, but I definitely positioned my tank in the right spot. But there were definitely some people on my team that did not put their tank in the right spot, and that's especially true for the enemy team. So this is what both of the teams did. You can see the lineups right now. Let me just put that WT back where he was. So looking at the lineups here, our two tank destroyers, the Foch and the WT, went right into the tank destroyer bush, which is a very smart move, judging that they have a Sheridan and a 121B. You want to get those guys taken out first, because of course, if I get flanked, if I get shot in the side where that Sheridan hit me in the side, if he was able to stay there, I would have been useless. I would have had to back up, and then probably the IS-7, E-75, WT could have shot me, the Ag Tiger. So that's the right idea, but the issue is that he didn't have the right idea in thinking that the enemy team had a Foch and a WT sitting there. I would have expected it. You always expect some sort of tank destroyer to be sitting in that bush. That is the #1 rule of thumb. If you don't expect it, I would definitely suggest you start to do so. So these guys pushed way aggressive. That 121B got spotted over here like 25-30 seconds into the match. You can't just be that quick to guess. I'd suggest that you wait at least 20 to 30 seconds right in the spot here. You don't poke over, you just wait, and if you push across this side here, because there's bushes, there's cover. That way, if you get spotted, tank destroyers have to react. That means you have a little bit of time to get behind cover. Your light bulb will pop up 3 seconds later, and you'll know, hey, they do have tanks over here. Now we can be careful, now we can try and work our magic. But they definitely made a mistake there, I feel, by pushing super aggressive. You look at my E50M, I have no clue why he did this. He literally just went from the medium side all the way over to the heavy side. And of course an E50M isn't going to be able to do anything against tanks like an E75, IS-7, even a WT has taken off twice the amount of damage that an E50 is doing. So I have no clue why he did that. It was a terrible move on my part, and I definitely wish that he had pushed to the medium side. Looking at my heavies though, they did a decent job. The IS-8 was fine. 57 heavy did okay, and the IS-7 I did decent as well. We all pushed our tanks in decent positions. I wish that the IS-8 was a little bit better on the side scraping, but overall we were able to overcome on the heavy side and hold them off. And the WT, well, he should have stayed back. Obviously you don't want to push super aggressive in the WT. You watch the enemy WT make a really stupid move, literally just, I don't even know why, but decided to push really aggressive and cross right over here, and we shot him across as he did that. So I've got no clue why the enemy WT did that, lost about half his health, and he's lucky that my shell, which was just a fluke that missed, didn't hit him. But the WT made a huge mistake going there. It should have stayed in the back. The Yag made the right move, stayed in the back, was able to tap me. I wasn't pushing because the Yag, he was stopping me from being very aggressive. So the Yag did the right thing. But you had this E75, and literally the E75 wasn't spotted for 2.5 minutes in this match. Now I have no clue how that's even possible, because it's not like he was AFK, he was actually playing. So he must have just been moseying his way around here, doing loops or something, trying to lap himself on a timer, because I have honestly no clue how he's able to sit in a position like this without being spotted. So that E75 must be some sort of magician, but he honestly did nothing to contribute to the team. He had the max gun, he just sort of sat there and did absolutely nothing. So it was a very bad effort on their team for teamwork. But as you can see, I sort of reorganized what their team should have done here, so hopefully they will be doing a little bit better. So, as you can see, I've repositioned the WT to be back here with the Yag. If you can think about it, there's no way I'm going to be pushing. If I pushed up there, and that WT even bounced me, there's no way I'm going to push up again, so I wouldn't have pushed up in the first place. That WT easily could snap me. I have to be very, very careful. The WT also could have gone into a spot over here. Of course, as I said, the tank destroyer bush could have sat parallel to the Foch and the WT on the enemy team, or my team should I say. That way the WT, when the Sheridan and the 121B went over there, would have easily spotted that Foch, and WT could have easily gotten covering fire in. So there's always that would have happened, but I think the WT would have been fine over on the heavy side, just using covering fire, making sure that I can't push aggressive. As well, I've repositioned the IS-7 and the M103, as you can see. I had the M103 sort of side scraping off this building here, and I changed the IS-7 to be in a spot like I'm at, because of course the IS-7 is going to be better aggressive. That M103 was too close to the front line. It's a tier 9 heavy tank up against my tank with 2,700 hit points now, or whatever it has, is a crazy amount. So the M103 was definitely way too aggressive, and the E75 should have been where that WT is side scraping on this wreckage here. Germans are very good at side scraping, so the E75 could have easily just sat there, didn't have to pull out, didn't have to shoot, just bounce the shells and hold the enemy off. So definitely a little bit cleaner on the heavy side would have been better for red team as well. That WT would have really helped them win. And over to the medium side, as you can see, I made sure that the Sheridan and the 121 aren't pushing too aggressive. So they're staying here, and of course I would want my E50 to push to the medium side, because of course if you look at it on paper, yeah, E50 is going to die. But if you think about it, you've also got a Foch and a WT sitting back here. Now their 2 shells plus the E50 is about 1,500 damage just right there. So those 3 guys could easily take on the 121B and the Sheridan, and it was the Foch and the WT alone that killed both of those players. So that E50 could have easily sort of pushed where that 121B is, where that Sheridan I put them, and just had them rush over the ridge, try and peek, and that's where the WT and the Foch would have easily gotten covering fire in. Now, some little nice strategies where you can run your tanks, just where that Sheridan where you saw that Sheridan shoot me, that Sheridan could have easily sat there if there weren't tank destroyers back there and gotten covering fire into the side of my tank, which would have caused me to pull back. I'm not going to be able to do anything. So that is one thing that the enemy team could do if there's nobody on the tank destroyer bush. Of course, if there is somebody there, yeah, you don't want to do that much. In fact, I usually sit up here if I do have the ability to, just because it's such a good spot. You're never going to be detected if there's nobody over here, and as well you can just keep shooting people around 250 meters away very, very easily. As well, if I was in my IS-7 and I noticed, hey, they've got 4 medium tanks on the enemy team, I have to push a medium. Of course, I'm not going to push my IS-7 over here. I might do it in a 113 because it's got a great damage per minute, but in general, IS-7 doesn't have great damage per minute, doesn't have great gun depression, and as well, it does not have great hull armor when you're spamming heat at it against a tank like a Patton. So it's not going to be doing too well on the medium push. So what I'll do is I'll push my IS-7 through the middle of the map. That way, if there's any stragglers that push through heavy, I'll still be able to spot them, still be able to shoot them, identify my team, let them know where they're going, and as well, I can hide my tank's lower plates through these little berms and rubble here, and then get some covering fire across the map through these little cutaways. So there's many things you can do. Also, I can push through here and try and get some shots into the tank destroyers. So there's definitely many different strategies on Yamato. In fact, it's one of the harder maps to definitely know where to push your tank, just because there's so many different positions. But overall, I actually find it a very simple map. You're either pushing your tank town, or you're pushing your tank medium. And if you're pushing town, you want to make sure that you have a couple mediums over at base 2, because if you don't, well, you're probably going to lose the match. So hopefully you guys did learn something from this little video and the strat sketch stuff. I just wanted to make this a little quick introduction to Yamato Harbor. So hopefully whatever map I do next, I hope you guys will like that as well. But always, I hope you guys are subscribed. If you aren't, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. As well, hit that like button. Let me know why you liked this video in the comments down below. If you absolutely hated it, let me know as well. But other than that, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Hope you're all happy and healthy out there.